I'm going to go if you need to take a break from the meeting.
You got to see it tomorrow.
Oh, okay. We're going this way.
Thank you, everybody, for coming. If you don't know me, I'm Deputy Senator. I work at Marketing at Home Office, and I also help with REthink Council. So I'm really excited that all of you guys came out tonight. For those of us who are on REthink Council, this is huge for us. People, so we're really excited and a little overwhelmed, but really excited mostly. So thank you guys for coming out here. Occasionally we do like to do like an open all to come to REthink to see what it's about. And if you haven't heard of REthink, nationally, Berkshire Hathaway Home Services started REthink in a lot of local offices to get like kind of millennial thinking, like a big think tank, to get together once a month, to come in, to bring ideas, to bring speakers, bring topics. And we feel like sometimes we have really good topics that we want to share it with everybody, including our young at heart and our REthinkers. So I really appreciate you guys coming. So tonight we're going to have this wonderful panel of agents who the idea of this REthink was bridging the gap. So we wanted to bring together two of our REthinkers who could kind of bring a different perspective of that millennial. What is going on? What is this? What are you going to do? I'm just kidding. It's okay. I noticed that. But then we're also going to have our team and another agent of our Young at Heart who are here to bring kind of a perspective of being in a very successful business for a long time. See, it's different heart. It sounds really nice.
So nice.
To kind of bring that different perspective too. So it's very laid back. We've got some questions prepared that I'm going to touch base with them, and I'm going to kind of help facilitate. And then at the end, after we go through, we'll leave it open. So if you do have questions, kind of jot them down or think about it throughout. And then what we'll do is we'll get them from our panel members. So to introduce our panel, we have Teresa Frank from South County. And then we have Eilers here in the St. Charles office. We have Hannegan also in St. Charles. And then we have the Boehmer team, Kelly and Linda, who are also here in St. Charles. We're really glad you all came out tonight. So I'm going to I want to be out to the side to where everybody can see you guys. Can you guys see them okay? Okay. I don't want to be in the way. Oh, you're okay. You can see your I could help you like halfway back or something. Okay, so we're gonna start off with Teresa, and I'm just gonna start talking. And you guys, also panel members, feel free if you feel like you have something to chime in. This is super beneficial for all of us to learn, so feel free to chime in if you feel like you can speak to it as well. Okay. So Teresa is one of our newer agents to select properties. How long have you been here, Teresa? Maybe
since October.
October. Okay. And new to the real estate industry as far as an agent, correct?
Yep.
Okay. Awesome. So starting off kind of with that perspective, what inspired you to put yourself out there to be a real estate agent, first of all, for some people in the room who might be completely new to the business, and what allows you to kind of put yourself out there and attract business for yourself?
Well, at first, I wanted to get into real estate because I felt like there was a lot of freedom in it. Obviously, you can set your own hours. I grew up with two parents who owned their own businesses, so I was just kind of attracted to that lifestyle. But what inspires me, I guess, to get out there is, number one, just seeing all the agents in the office every day. Like, I try to get into the office as much as possible, if for nothing else but to be motivated by the top agents that are like working their butts off and getting new listings every single day, because I see that and I want it and I want to be that. So that like really helps. But at the beginning, like when you have kind of nothing going on and you're just trying to build it, like you can get into this mindset. There's like that state of mind. What kind of keeps me going is I don't know, this idea that real estate is unique and that all of the successes and the failures are yours. Like anything that happens was done by you, and it's not like if I had graduated college and worked for a boss that just handed me down work, and I would do it and I would do a good job, but it wasn't like I did it. And I feel like anytime that we walk away from a closing or a listing appointment or maybe just like a conversation that could lead to a referral, like anything that is, it's just like so victorious, I guess, to feel like you were the one that did that. So that keeps me going in that mindset when I feel like I'm in a tunnel and I need to feel inspired, that I look at the agents that are in my office. And I also just try to I just crave that success. So did that answer you? That's awesome. Thank you, Teresa. Thank you. Susan, kind of thinking about the idea of balancing work and life as an agent. It can be challenging because you're 24/7. I mean, life's always on the go in the industry. And living out the ninja way of life, which if you've done ninja in here, you know exactly what I'm talking about, being able to be successful in your business and live the life that you want. How has ninja impacted your life as far as balancing your work and then also your personal time?
Okay. I've been through ninja twice, and I think the second time around, I was able to really sit and concentrate on what they were saying. And the biggest thing that I got from ninja is they talk about to discover your enough. You know, what is your enough that when you finish your workday and you finish your year that you feel like you have reached the plateau that you wanted to get to. And with me, I've been doing this for 21 years. My husband and I had our children at a very young age. So we have worked our tails off for a very long time. And our enough right now is to have fun. We want to enjoy our family. We want to enjoy our grandkids. We want to go to the lake. So I want to work enough that my clients are satisfied, that I do a great job, and I'm very proud of my real estate business. But yet I have this whole other life over here that I can enjoy with that. So that was one of the things that I got from ninja, that I can figure out how to run my business so that I still have the life rewards at the end of working very hard for my real estate business. Some of the things from ninja that helped me to do that is I found that I spend less money in my business because I've gotten more personal in my business. So I've taken my COI list and condensed it quite a bit. I do much more with personal notes than I do with mass mailings. I do a whole lot more on Facebook than I do on other things. So I took my business and just brought it to a whole different level than I used to operate. Instead of going out and trying to buy leads off of AdWorks and do this and do that, I pick up the phone and I call my clients. Last night, my husband, thank God he's a handyman, went over to fix one of my clients' houses because we had something fail on a building inspection. And I know that my gentleman is older. He told me the other day his daughter came in and packed up all of his stuff. So I sent dinner with my husband for him while we were fixing it. I decided with the ninja way, I'm just taking things to a whole different level personally. And I think that's made a difference.
That's huge.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's really good. Because sometimes it's hard to figure out how to personally insert yourself in your clients' lives without being too much, being overbearing, but being, like you said, just enough.
Right.
That ninja that fits that lifestyle. Thank you, Susan. Kyle, last time at our last REthink meeting, he kind of shared with us his unique story of how he created a team, but it wasn't originally intended. You know, some of you come in, you're like, I'm going to be part of a team, I'm going to do this. His team was kind of created for him, and so I kind of want him to share. Kyle, can you talk about kind of what made you take that leap from being an individual to a team? You know, there might be somebody here who's kind of in that in-between where they're getting really busy, but you're like, is it right for me to take that step? Can you speak to that?
Yeah, absolutely. So I kind of had a unique experience with how my team kind of developed. It was definitely out of necessity as opposed to, I guess, want or the smart way to do it. I mean, I think the best time you hire your first piece should always be a great admin or an assistant, and I think you should hire that person before you know you actually need them. Right when you're probably on the cusp. I think a general rule of thumb that a lot of people use, that 4 million mark, depending on your price range, 4 to 5 million. My first year I did that. In my second year, I did a little over 9, and I implemented a part-time assistant about halfway through it, and it helped out tremendously, but I mean, I was running ragged, and it was no way to live. I mean, the quality of my life was not honestly good. I worked probably 70, 80 hours a week. I was new to it, so I didn't really have, when you want, I mean, I had a ton of people to lean on. I don't mean it like that, but it was me. I mean, when you have, $9 million worth of business, I mean, that's your business. And, when you have to show up every day and do it, and I mean, I just kind of found that I just needed somebody, and it's tough to let go, especially with every agent in here, probably very A-type personality, but first hire definitely needs to be a quality assistant. I have a freaking rock star as of now with Brenda, with her a few people to get her, and I mean, just in the 3 months she's been there, I mean, it's totally transformed my business. I mean, my quality of life's gotten better. I think Jessica and Dana, my 2 buyers agents, their lives has gotten even better. She's just absolutely killing it. And then, when you absolutely need it, I think you implement a buyer's agent. Again, depending on the volume, the geography of where you work, I mean, we're pretty diverse. I mean, we do just as much in St. Louis County, actually probably a little more last year than we did in St. Charles County. So I mean, we cover a pretty wide geographical area. So I mean, it definitely frees me up. But I think the best thing to do is before you actually need that person, you hire for them, and don't ever hire for the person. As much as you may like somebody, as much as you may want that relationship to, really, or you want that person to come to fruition and be perfect for that job, you hire for the position. That's the number one thing I would definitely leave with you guys. And, fortunately, I did a little bit of both, but it all has turned out fantastic. I have great people. And, yeah, I definitely think the main point I want you to take away is that hire somebody before you truly need it. And I think all of you guys would probably agree. I'm probably not the best example of that, honestly, but I've learned now, which is why I have an extra buyer's agent. And it works. It works. So does that answer?
Thank you, Kyle. I appreciate it. I think a lot of times you might get to that point in your business where you're kind of, it's taking a leap sometimes to think about bringing somebody else as a team, or do I just need an assistant for a little bit because, life's really hectic right now, the business is good. So I think that's a good example of talking about when it's.
And one other thing too, I'm sorry, but
go ahead.
And it was hard for me too because I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm new to the business. I'm already transitioning myself out of the business. That is not true. People, I mean, I just got a compliment today. One of my very, very good clients, a good friend of mine, told me how big of a rock star Dana was because she helped out when I was in California for the national conference. She was like, oh my gosh, Dana was amazing. But I mean, it just helps you. It helps your customer service. It helps you personally to do the things that you want to do. So I mean, don't feel like you're going to be losing your clients, or your clients aren't going to get served well, which is why you choose good people, obviously. But your business will not suffer, only thrive. So.
Thank you, Kyle. I'm going to go into Kelly, Linda. Of course, you guys knowing all what it takes to bring a team together, to be a powerful team, to be very successful. Kind of touching back to what we were talking about with Susan with a lifestyle. Working hard now. You guys work really hard. When you guys are in here in the morning, I hear your story that they're first here in the office in the morning, usually last to leave. So you guys know about
Until we don't leave.
You left here at 2 this morning.
So you guys know what it's like to really work hard to make success. So what have been the key ingredients for you to be successful as you are as a business? What do you think the key things are that have made you what you are today?
Well, I think one of the key things is that we never forget that the customer is number one. The rest of it just doesn't matter if you lose sight of the fact that they're your customer. That's why you joke and see when you drive around town or when you get an email from another agent, everybody's number one. They're number one at this company, they're number one at that company, they're number one at this here, every billboard. We actually went on a listing appointment about 2 years ago where we sat down at the table and a grumpy old man said, what are you number one at? Every agent in here has been number one at something. We were like, well, okay. We were about the 4th agent in and we were, he's like, what are you number one at? So, but we always tell people that the rest of it doesn't matter, the customer's number one. They're always number one and should always be treated that way, and I think that's a good rule of thumb that has guided a lot of our success in the business.
And I think along with that is the commitment to professionalism. And Rick, I don't know where Rick and
He's right
Deborah,
behind you.
When we started in this profession, I came out of the business world, was vice president of sales and marketing. I got up, I'd get dressed, I'd put my dress clothes on, I'd put my makeup on, and I'd come to work. To me, it was my job. And I'd laugh, I'd tell the story. I actually called one day on the day of a sales meeting. Stacy Demas was at the front desk, and I said, Stacy, it's LInda Boehmer. I just want to call and tell you I'm not going to make the meeting this morning. My mom needs me. And she went, okay. I didn't. Okay, I'll tell somebody, somebody who cares. Nobody. Because I did not come into this business with a mindset that I was self-employed. I came into this business that we were out here to sell houses, and we were a team, and that was just how I was. That's how I was nurtured. So I think when you get into this, you make a commitment to the profession every day. And I see people every day that push the boundaries of professionalism in this business, and not only the way they act, conduct themselves, talk, look, perform. Just make a commitment to professionalism. I'm not talking about the most expensive clothes. I'm talking about a commitment to the profession. I'm going to work hard. I'm going to get up and go to work on days maybe I don't want to get up and go to work. I'm going to take it seriously, and the rewards just kind of fall into place. So, there's a day or two you're going to run through here, and believe me, you will catch the Boehmer team in sweats and ball hats and no makeup. I'm not talking professionalism every day, but the commitment to this profession and to our clients and to our staff and to our brokers that say, I'm going to get up and I'm going to make something good happen today. And who's responsible for that? We are. I used to tell my sales team when I managed new home salespeople, God gives every bird its food, but he doesn't throw it in your nest. It's out there, people. Make the commitment to the profession and be positive. I love every one of these people. So positive that we're going to make something good happen. And I tell my husband all the time, I'm going to be like Susan Eilers. I do.
I know, we do. We say
I think Susan Eilers is just got
I want to be like Susan Eilers.
No, because I think Susan's got her priorities. She has I love it. So find out what works for you and make a commitment to your professional career to achieve those goals. It's really pretty simple.
Yeah, and I think another thing to add too, whether you're getting started or you're growing your business or whatever stage you're in, we say every day at the end of the day, especially when we're frustrated, what could I have done differently to make today better, to make today go more smoothly, or to make that transaction better? What could I have done differently? And we always remember that there's a lot of things we learn every day. There's a lot of things in this business you cannot control. You cannot control everything about this business. You can't control your time, when your customers need you, how that transaction's going to go, how that building inspection. But if you control the things that you can control, take advantage of time to put your systems in place, your checklist, try to use those opportunities. It's really easy to sit and go, I don't have any appointments today, so I'm just going to take the day and go do something else. Well, maybe that's what you should, right? But maybe that's the opportunity too, to say, I'm going to spend 2 hours to refine my listing presentation. Or I'm going to take 2 hours to work on my checklist of things I do after closing, or my customer care, or whatever. Those opportunities are invaluable to our successful business.
And if you see true unprofessionalism in this business, make note of it and use it to improve yourself and to gain business for yourself. We don't call anybody out by name, brokers, salespeople, but when we're on a listing appointment, we'll show your bad pictures. You betcha. You want to do some bad marketing, we're going to use that as a way to get to, because our marketing is going to be off the charts. So if you see an example of what we consider lack of professionalism and how somebody is representing a home, somebody has given this person the responsibility of presenting their home in the best light. There's some bad stuff out there. That's not professional in our opinion. So if you see that, try to learn from it and use it to sell where you're going to be different. Sometimes you can tell people what you're going to do that's going to make you different, and it's so easy to go in when you're not the other. Sometimes you have to use some visual.
Thank you both. That was wonderful. Teresa really had no, it's really neat to hear, just knowing how powerful and successful and wonderful you guys are in the business, the things that it does take to wake up every day. And I like how you both touched on personality and doing what's best for you, and kind of leading into that with Teresa. One thing, I don't know if you guys know that she does this, but we talk about it a lot at home office, are the 60-second videos. And I don't know if you watched it, but she always does, is it Sunday? 60-second Sunday. She has a YouTube. And she'll just give a quick tip, a real estate tip. And it's really wonderful because she uses her personality in it. So I wanted you to talk to them a little bit about how you came about this idea, how people can use, their personality to kind of create their own, their own brand and image.
Yeah. Well, the 60-second Sunday name came from my mom, so I can't take credit from that. But I knew, right when I got into this business, first week of taking Gretchen's class, it's just full of contracts and numbers and analyses, and I knew that I had to have some sort of creative outlet because that's my personality. So that's when I started the YouTube channel. I feel like YouTube is also like a really big marketing tool right now with just sharing any sort of tips, talking about home ideas, like the type of stuff that you would see on Pinterest. Translating that to a video is just, I think, a really great marketing tool right now. So I knew that I wanted to do something creative, and I'm lead singer of a rock band, but I haven't figured out how to integrate that with real estate yet. So I needed that. And it was funny because Tuesday at our sales meeting, Juan Lee in South County was going through top tips from producers and top producer tips, and one of them was like, oh, try not to waste time if you catch yourself spending extra time making a flyer or like dilly-dallying. And that's totally me. Like, I will spend hours trying to make like a creative flyer, a newsletter, or postcard, because like I need that. If I spent all day just like doing the nitty-gritty, phone calling, door knocking, going through contracts, I would just be so burnt out. So I kind of don't agree with the fact that like that's wasting time, because it's something that keeps me motivated. And like this business, even in the short time I've been in it, it just like consumes you all day. And if you don't find a way to integrate your personality into it, you'll lose your personality. Like, you need to have time to put them in there somewhere. So yeah, my thing is just trying to get the creative, marketing in there, digital marketing, trying to find some new way to get my name out there in a way that is like something that I love to do. I don't feel like it's wasting time. I feel like it's just being me, and I'd way rather have fun doing this than just be like hitting it hard every day and totally like losing myself.
She's my new best friend now that she's in a rock band.
I know. She needs a shirt. Hang out.
Watch out.
I know. I was like,
She needs a shirt that says, I sell real estate.
I get them at the awards. I remember.
It's awesome.
I did. I saw we got a tribute. No, but I was the only one that did. There you go. Susan will be your groupie.
Yes, I will.
Well, we have a show on May 26th. If anybody I will be crowd surfing though, so. Really? You're gonna crowd surf?
We're at.
I'm goodness, if you don't want to like do this, just don't
We're
stand in
at.
front. Cicero's.
That's right.
So fun.
That's awesome. Thank you. Continuing with kind of talking about the personal touch, putting personality into your business. Susan, I'm going to kind of skip down to your questions about talking about client appreciation and how you kind of can create. What about you? Client appreciation is, I think, necessary always in the business, and being able to create something different and unique that not everybody does. And I know that's something that you're really good at and known for. So how, for hosting these events, what are some ideas that you could give to everybody of all starts? Like, if you're just starting a good event, or maybe you've been in it for a while and you have the ability to do something bigger, and then what impact have they had on your business?
I have to give Deb a whole lot of credit for these, because she came up with some awesome ideas that I took and kind of ran with. But some of the events, I had a client appreciation party at my house, and I invited all of my clients for the past year. So it could have been like, oh my God, there's so many people there. Did not turn out that way. But there was like 45, 50 people there throughout the day. But it was something that they all knew they were invited, whether they came or not. I sent out a big thank you to everybody. So, again, it brought it back circle. But I thought that involved them in my own personal life. They got to come and see my house. They got to meet my family. My grandkids were there, all of that. So I think that brought a whole different aspect to my business. I did not have one this past year because I moved this year. So I'm going to have one this coming year, and I will probably do it like I'm thinking I'm going to do it like the Sunday after Thanksgiving, right at the beginning of the holiday season. I think is a very good time for that. The other great event, which I thought I did, is I did the Shredded Day, and I combined it on a church parking lot. So the church then actually ran it in the bulletin and everything for me. I put subdivision signs out. The whole event cost me about $250. And that day I had almost 250 people come through that day. through the event to bring in their recycle stuff. So I thought that was a humongous event there. For the past 3 years, I've done popcorn tins to all of my previous clients for that year. Those have been a huge success. Last week I sent out 138 handwritten St. Patrick's Day cards, and I put a lottery ticket in it. Some of them are just now hitting the mailboxes today, but I got 8 phone calls or emails last week, and out of that is a listing. So I mean, I spent less than $200 and I ended up with a listing out of it. So just things like that. I send tons of personal notes. But the events I do on a little bit smaller scale too. I'll invite people out to dinner. I'll invite them to our lake house, stuff like that. I don't know where Destiny went.
She's kidding.
Margaritas.
She's part.
Anybody need anything?
Yeah.
Does anybody need anything?
I'd like to say something about her appreciation party that she had at her home. One of the couples that came to her home, they loved her home. So a couple months later, they approached her and said, "We want to buy your home." And so she listed their home in Whitmore and sold their home, and then they bought your home, and then she found a great deal over in Wayne Haven, and the people didn't care when she moved out of the house, so she got to totally remodel another house. So that
worked out very well.
Client appreciation party paid for itself several times over.
Yeah. Plus I earned like $16,000 selling their house,
Yeah.
so it was a very profitable event.